Hey everyone, this is Nathan Williams with BlackRain79.com, and today I want to talk about how to quickly start winning at poker. You know, it's a real shame that most people that play this game actually do end up losing in the long run, which I've mentioned many times before. And it's a real shame because most of us are going to play this game anyways. Perhaps you play as a hobby, or maybe you want a part-time or even a full-time income one day. You're already going to play this game. We all love this game, so why not make some money from it in the process? So in this video, I'm not going to talk in detail about any poker strategy. I'm not going to tell you how to play your ace king better in 3-bet pots. I've already got 100+ videos on this channel talking about that. I'm more going to talk about the mindset, what games to play in, and really how professional poker players approach the game. So with all that said, let's jump right into it. So tip number one to start quickly winning at poker is to play for something, set some goals. You know, when I first started playing this game, my number one goal was money. I'm not gonna lie about it. I got into this game, and what I mean by money is freedom. You know, I had a crappy 9-to-5 job at the time, which I didn't enjoy. I desperately wanted out of, and while I did find the game of poker to be intriguing, to be intellectually challenging, I'm not gonna lie guys, I got into this game to get out of my job. And after about a year of playing every single night, of building my bankroll up, I was able to finally quit that job and turn professional and start traveling the world and all sorts of good stuff that came with that. But it was only my passion in the beginning, not only for the game, but having clear set goals. I also wanted to have $10,000 in the bank as well. These were concrete goals. I was blogging about it at the time. And these were the goals that got me in there playing every single night, something I've talked about so much before, that it's important to be consistent, to be playing as often as possible. I had clear goals for what I wanted to achieve in this game, and I believe that is absolutely what propelled me to success, especially in the first couple years when I was playing this game. So tip number two in order to start quickly winning at poker, and guys, this is another huge one, is to play in games you can beat. Something I often talk about, guys, is poker is the great ego killer. If you try to bring an ego to this game, poker is going to humble you very, very quickly. I often compare poker to driving. Most people think they're really good at it, but most people, honestly, they're not really that good. I was pretty bad at it when I first started, and that's why the most important thing is to start at the lower limit, play against other weak recreational players who make lots of big glaring mistakes. These are the players that I talk about how to beat specifically in my free poker cheat sheet, which is the top link in the description below, and all my poker strategy books and on my blog. When you play against players who are worse than you, who make lots of large fundamental mistakes, you're going to win in the long run. As I've said so many times before, guys, poker is just a game of relativity. It's all about who you are playing. So this is why I always suggest starting out in the lowest stakes games, guys. Even if you're only playing for $2 on the internet, just bring a humble approach to this game, because you can always move up. If you're smashing the $2 games, next week you move up to the $5 games. Smash those, move up to the $10 games next week, and before you know it, within a month or two, you're playing $50, $100, $1,000 games. Just start small, guys. Don't bring an ego to this game. It absolutely destroys so many poker careers. Start small, play in games that you can beat, and that's going to be one of the biggest factors for your success to start quickly winning in poker. All right, guys, so tip number three to start quickly winning at poker is to control the controllables. This is something that I believe in all aspects of life, whether that's fitness, mental health, everything, business. You need to focus on what matters in poker, and what matters in poker are a number of things, such as playing every single hand to the best of your ability, being able to see the long run and to get over bad beats in the moment. Like I already mentioned, making sure that you're playing in good poker games full of recreational players that you can beat. Guys, don't get yourself wrapped up in all sorts of stuff like the latest bad beat you took, getting down on yourself, thinking about how you're so unlucky and all this stuff. If this stuff is becoming a dominant narrative in your head, that's a clear cue to get up from the table and move on. Guys, you've got to focus on what you control at the poker tables, which is simply playing every single hand to the best of your ability, which is the number one thing that you control always at the poker table. And that leads me into tip number four to start quickly winning at poker, and that is to focus on your mental game. Guys, I've said many times before, mental game is more important than technical game these days. Most people spend 95% of their time studying. again, how to play their ace king better out of position in 3-bet pots. And that's cool and all. It's good to know that stuff. Study the latest GTO, study the latest exploitative strategy as I teach in my books and videos. But the biggest deficiency for most low stakes poker players these days actually isn't the technical side. Most players at lower stakes actually play relatively decent these days. There are differences, of course. The biggest skill gap these days actually is on the mental side. Most poker players are not able to handle adversity well. When their aces get cracked a couple times, especially before the final table, or they've taken a bunch of coolers, they start tilting easily. They start getting feeling of, you know, I'm the unluckiest player, this site is rigged against me, all this crazy stuff. And this is the biggest reason why they don't win. I used to do a lot of coaching in the past, especially with small stakes students. And the number one reason by far why they did not win after we would talk about their hands and go through the week's results is because they went on tilt. They would start making poor decisions, sometimes even jumping into higher stakes games. We already talked about playing games you can beat. Guys, the number one thing you need to do in poker if you want to win long term is to focus on your mental game. So what are some ways to do that? Well, I suggest many off-the-table calming and relaxation techniques. Meditation is one, both before and after poker sessions, that a lot of poker pros are getting into these days. For me personally, I've talked about this many times, physical fitness has been absolutely huge for me over the years. It's something that I focus on heavily to improve my confidence, mental health, and perseverance in all aspects of my life, not just poker, but in business, in relationships and everything. And lastly, just hand review, going over hands, especially after sessions. You can use a program like Poker Tracker. There'll be links once again in the description below. And it allows you to just review your hands. It allows you to see from a logical and objective point of view, did I play this hand to the best of my ability? Did the other player just get lucky? You can see the actual equity inside Poker Tracker when the money went in. And then you'll be able to quickly get over these hands because you'll be able to see that the other person just got lucky. And of course, poker is a long-term game based on odds, statistics, and math. In the long run, if you keep getting all the money in with by far the best of it, you're simply going to win. And that leads me into my final tip to start quickly winning at poker. Tip number 5 is to focus on your long-term success. Guys, I really can't overstate the fact that poker is a long-term game. It's absolutely the opposite of a get-rich-quick scheme or something like that. In fact, this is why a lot of people do not succeed in this game, is because they're looking for instant result. They want to win in their next session. They want to win by next week. They want to be playing Phil Ivey and Daniel Negreanu by next month. Guys, it just doesn't work this way. Most players that have built themselves up even to just mid-stakes games like a 5-10 live cash game, maybe a $100 tournament online. In most cases, if you talk to these people, they've been building up for years to get to this level. It's just not realistic, especially if you're a beginner level player, that you're just going to be crushing it every single day and you're going to be playing high stakes by next month. As I always talk about, poker is a very up and down game, and the whole point is to have more ups than downs over the long run, but you're going to have downs no matter what. There is simply no way around it. Even if your name is Daniel Negreanu, Phil Hellmuth, Doug Polk, who just beat Daniel Negreanu. These guys have losing days too, guys. You can't get around it, because poker has an element of short-term luck that is simply built into the game. So one of the biggest keys to success, besides everything else I talked about on this list, playing against bad players, focusing on the mental game, is understanding that you're playing this game not for days or weeks, but for months and years. Once you can see the proverbial forest through the trees, you're going to start having a lot more success in this game. All right, guys, so those are my 5 tips to hopefully help you guys start winning quickly at poker. Guys, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. As I've said many times, poker is a difficult game. It's very difficult to handle from both a technical and mental side. And most people, unfortunately, do not win in the end because we also have to pay the rake. But I do think that for somebody who is ready to put in the work, both at the tables and away, is willing to work on both the technical and mental side of their game, pay close attention to what games they're playing, and also see the game as a long-term endeavor, I do think that there is an avenue to success for somebody like that. who's willing to go after it and who has a deep passion for this game. You know, I've been talking about this for years on my blog about how I was able to quit my job, travel the world, and ultimately make a career out of this game. Not everyone watching this video has such lofty aspirations. You don't have to. You know, a lot of people just want to play this game for a hobby. They already have a great job, career, whatever, family. That's totally awesome. Whatever your goals are, though, I hope that this video is going to help you at least start making a part-time income from this game. As I mentioned off the top, poker is a lot more fun when you're making a consistent profit from it. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you're subscribed to the channels. I'm putting out brand new small stakes videos like this to help you guys out all the time. And also give this video a like if you found it helpful. And lastly, as I mentioned off the top, I have a free poker cheat sheet. It's about 50 pages. You can read it in an afternoon. And that'll give you my complete step-by-step strategy for how to beat the small stakes games online or live. And once again, it's free. It's the top link in the description below. So I hope this video helped you guys. Thanks as always for watching. This has been Nathan Williams with BlackRain79.com.